Week 4 of the grid ranking is out. And one of the big things, technically, we saw the lead change on Tuesday when Joseph Newgarden got disqualified. So Sebastian Ogier now leads the grid ranking. Considering he's running part-time, it's pretty impressive. Joseph Newgarden's disqualification, of course, occurred on Tuesday. So he has the unfortunate record of the shortest time leading the grid ranking at about 36 hours. So 4 drivers have led the grid ranking this year. One of the big things, Will Brown, he is second behind Sebastian Ogier, and Max Verstappen is moved up to third place because of Jorge Martin not finishing the Grand Prix. He slides down from potentially grabbing the lead to staying in the top 10 just barely. So overall, I got to ask you, starting with you, Ben. First time we've had 4 weeks, 4 different drivers start the week in the lead. 2020, that was a strange year. We had 11 lead changes. Of course, the pandemic was causing a lot of changes with schedules, races, drivers missing out. Do you think we're on track for another year like 2020? Or, since Max Verstappen's in third place in F1, he's still looking unstoppable. Are we really just waiting for Max Verstappen to claim a runaway with the grid ranking like he did last year?
Well, Max Verstappen's one mechanical failure away from sweeping the starts for the Formula One season and probably being ahead in the grid ranking, right? I think when you look at how dominant he's been, again, unless he has more of those failures coming his way, I think, it's just a matter of time before he probably reclaims that spot. That's going to be the next lead change, I think, when we get into Miami here. I think it's probably just going to be another Max Verstappen show up front, unless something similar happens that takes him out. And obviously that'll throw the whole scoring into disarray once again, and maybe we will get something like that. But until that happens again, I think it was probably just a one-off in Australia for Verstappen, and it's probably going to be another year where he's so dominant in Formula One that he also dominates our grid ranking as well, and it's probably only a matter of time before he reclaims that top spot. Jackson, I think you might be muted.
I'm a professional. I think it's only going to be a matter of time, right? But if it is, the question is, when is it going to happen, and who's going to be the guy that potentially brings that fight? Seb Ogier, obviously former grid champ, is someone who's consistently been dominant in the World Rally Championship. Would be awesome to see him close that fight. I would not be surprised if we see a miracle run after the Indy 500, like what we saw with Alex Palou last year. Maybe we could see something like that. I don't know. Season feels too young, and I'm always an optimist when it comes to close championship fights. So time will tell. Miami likes to get kind of chaotic sometimes in its very short lifetime. So I'm going to say it's not over quite yet.
And I'm going to go there, and I'm going to say that that is probably going to be over at some point in the grid ranking with Max Verstappen. If it wasn't for his retirement, sorry, Jackson, but if it wasn't for the retirement at Australia, Max Verstappen would more than likely be leading the grid ranking right now.
Yeah.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, Joe. Max Verstappen would be leading the ranking if it wasn't for the DNF at Australia. And looking at Sebastian Ogier, he's running part-time, so obviously he's going to naturally fall down the board, but it just shows you how good Sebastian Ogier is. He just cherry picks the races that he wants to do, the rally that he's good at, and he basically goes up there, and wins almost all of them. But when he doesn't win, he typically performs well, or you'll have something go wrong with the car. He rarely makes a mistake as a driver. It just shows how good he is as a driver, as a part-timer, to be up there at the top of the grid ranking. But I think given how competitive all the other series are on our ranking, I think it's inevitable Max Verstappen's going to return to the top. But I think given how strong Will Brown has been in supercars since Triple Eight seems to be on a completely different planet, I wouldn't put it past him as well to be up there battling for the grid ranking world championship, because it doesn't seem like anyone can really touch Brock Feeney and Will Brown right now in supercars. So I think those will probably be Verstappen's biggest challenger. But if I had to bet on it, I think Max Verstappen is going to be the grid ranking world champion at the end of the year, just like he's going to get the Formula One championship as well.
Really, I feel Formula One, that is where if they could step it up and bring the challenge to Max Verstappen, okay, a couple second place finishes, particularly if Perez's teammate was to somehow get some wins, which I feel like he's further away from the top 7 podium compared to last year when he got the 2 wins early into the year. I think it could be all Verstappen it'll be interesting to see what happens with Triple Eight, especially those two keep finishing first and second between the two teammates. Of course, still very early on in the grid ranking, still over 20 plus weeks ahead. Look at the full grid ranking. Scott McLaughlin, it's been interesting. He went from being ranked, disqualified, so he was unranked. Now he's backed in, and he is 25th. Pedro Acosta is still the only rookie in the grid ranking so far this year. Adrian Forme, the other part-time driver in the World Rally Championship, he is still in the grid ranking. And then, of course, next weekend, we only have 2 races, Formula One, NASCAR Cup Series. So be sure to subscribe to us right here on the Grid Network.